Cleetus McFarland recently took part in the ARCA race at Talladega and caught the attention of not just racing fans, but even NASCAR itself. He's a social media sensation with over 4 million followers. That number alone tells a big story. To compare, most NASCAR drivers don't even get close to that kind of reach online. So, let's rewind the clock and start with his YouTube journey. Things changed in July of 2015 when one of his friends jokingly called him Cleetus in a spoof video. That one moment shifted everything. Garrett didn't immediately turn that joke into a brand, but over time, the name stuck. People started calling him Cleetus more than they used his real name. Eventually, he renamed his channel to match what his growing audience already knew him by, Cleetus McFarland. This change marked the beginning of something big. Before fully diving into his YouTube career, Garrett worked for another well-known channel called 1320 Video, owned by Kyle Loftus. Garrett filmed a street racing video and showed it to Kyle, who used it on his platform. This gave Garrett his first taste of success in the world of automotive content. Kyle supported Garrett instead of taking advantage of his growing popularity. That kind of mentorship helped to shape Garrett's career and character.
Really, the guy I owe my entire career to. His name's Kyle Loftus, owner of 1320 Video. I filmed a video of a street race, and I showed it to him because he was the only guy with a YouTube channel in town. I thought it was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And he ended up using the footage in his video. Around this time, Instagram and stuff was coming out. And I said, hey, could I help you do your social media? I'm just in high school, And he was like, sure, give it a shot. So for years, I just didn't, work for any money. I just helped him make his stuff. And then I was around the YouTube channel a lot. So I just learned a lot. And he's the one who called me Cleetus in a video, years down the road. I was always behind the camera. And I'll never say this enough. He's the most gracious person I've ever met, because if someone, when the video went viral and I became Cleetus, a lot of business owners would say, whoa, let me grab a hold of this deal, see how I can make money off it.
Right.
Kyle helped me spread my wings and create my own thing so that I'm doing what I do today.
Yeah.
Even though the world of YouTube can be brutally competitive, Garrett doesn't see it that way. He doesn't look at other creators as enemies or rivals. If someone likes automotive content, they usually watch several creators, not just one.
I don't think it's so much competition like I have to win over the viewers versus them watching my buddies' videos, because that's never seemed to be the case. It's almost like they'll just watch both.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've never felt that competition, but I've always driven myself to be I want to be the one with the best content there is when it comes to drag racing and stuff. So maybe that's just automatically worked out that way for us, but I don't feel like my neighbor can pull views off of my channel. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, recently, the real surprise came when Cleetus had an in-car camera during the ARCA race. And that one move led to between 20 and 30,000 new YouTube subscribers for NASCAR's official channel in just 24 hours. That kind of growth on YouTube doesn't happen often, especially for a traditional sport like NASCAR. According to data from Social Blade, that spike was directly linked to the Cleetus broadcast. This shows that younger audiences are ready to follow motorsports, but they want personalities they can relate to, and Cleetus fits that role perfectly. Even NASCAR commentator Mike Joy admitted recently that the sport has a problem.
We have 18 and 20-year-olds coming into the Cup Series and making a mark. The fan base is getting older. We're not attracting the younger fan base that we need to move this sport forward into the next decade, into the next couple of decades. And we lost a lot of that young fan base that we really need to covet if we're going to grow this sport again.
That means NASCAR's main audience is aging, and if they don't attract younger fans, their viewership will slowly shrink. That's where someone like Cleetus McFarland becomes incredibly valuable. He's already doing what NASCAR hopes to do, entertain and bring in younger fans who are active on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. When Cleetus made his debut at Daytona, the results were impressive, even if he didn't finish the race. On race day, Fox Sports post-race coverage featuring Cleetus pulled in over 5.8 million views. To put that into perspective, many ARCA races struggle to get even 500,000 viewers. His presence created what reporters are calling the Cleetus McFarland effect. His fans weren't just casual viewers. They were excited, active, and loud. Social media exploded with clips of him racing, reacting, and even crashing. On race day, things didn't quite go as planned. Rain canceled qualifying, so the starting positions were based on practice times. Cleetus started in 23rd position. His main goal was to finish the race, which is not easy at Daytona. The track is known for its high-speed wrecks, and this race was no exception. On lap 12, a crash started when Amber Balcaen lost control coming out of turn 4. Cleetus got caught in the wreck, hitting the inside wall. He kept going, but his car was damaged. Just a few laps later, Balcaen spun again, this time directly in front of Cleetus. He had no time to react and slammed into her car. His vehicle was too damaged to continue, and he finished in 30th place. Even though he did not complete the race, fans and commentators called his debut a success, and his post-race interview went viral. He called it the best day of his life and described racing around Daytona as ripping like a bald eagle. The way he talked, full of excitement and humor, was different from the usual polished responses people hear from most drivers, and that difference mattered. For years, NASCAR has struggled to attract younger audiences. Viewership numbers have dropped, and many fans say the sport feels too corporate and the drivers too robotic. Cleetus McFarland brought something fresh. He was loud, honest, and full of personality, and fans loved it. Thousands of people who had never watched a stock car race before tuned in just because Cleetus was behind the wheel. That's something NASCAR hasn't been able to do with millions of dollars in marketing. One of the biggest moments came after the race when Dale Earnhardt Jr. invited Cleetus on his podcast, The Dale Jr. Download. Dale Jr. is one of the most respected voices in racing. When someone like him takes notice, people pay attention. Dirty Mo Media, Dale's company, teased the podcast episode with excitement, saying fans should buckle up. The interview is expected to cover everything from Cleetus's Daytona debut to how influencers like him might shape the future of motorsports. The idea of influencers crossing into professional sports is not new. Jake Paul did it in boxing and brought millions of new fans to the sport. Cleetus McFarland might be doing the same for racing. If one YouTuber can get 5.8 million views on a post-race highlight and draw 40,000 people to a live stream from inside his car, then maybe NASCAR should rethink its strategy. These numbers show that people are not just watching, they're fully engaged. He also pulled off an impressive top 10 finish in the ARCA Menard Series race at Talladega, starting 24th in the number 30 Rhett Jones Racing Ford. He quickly moved up before a valve spring failure slowed his pace. Despite the engine trouble, he fought to stay on the lead lap. Things got tense late in the race when he narrowly dodged a multi-car crash, joking later that his cut-off sleeves gave him the edge. McFarland restarted 14th for a one-lap overtime dash, but another wreck struck before turn 1. He avoided the chaos again and crossed the line in 10th place under caution. Nearly 70,000 fans watched live through his in-car camera. He explained that after losing the draft, the engine turned into a dog, but he used advice from NASCAR veteran Greg Biffle to stay in the game. McFarland's first ARCA race at Daytona ended in a DNF, so this Talladega recovery showed real progress. Now, he still hinted he might return for the fall race. As always, don't hesitate to comment down your thoughts on this. And while you're down there, make sure to smash that subscribe button as well.